All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Podman Desktop Community Meeting. It's March 26th, 2026. I hope everybody's doing well. We have a couple of things today for the agenda. We'll go over the release 126, which went out last week, the updates for that, a few information about Kubernetes extensions, and a few general updates. So, Iri, I believe you want to start?
Yes. So hello everybody. We'll go through the 1.26 release. So it's a fresh one. It came out last week. So let's have a look what you can find there. So we delivered 28 features, 27 bug fixes, and more than 400 comments. So those numbers are huge. So congrats everybody who contributed. When it comes to interesting features that are worth demoing, some of them are mentioned here. I will go through them in more detail in a minute. But to sum it up, generally it's about host certificates, improving the authentication, access control for extensions, some improvements to the image pooling, additional filtering based on your environment, managed configuration improvements, and some things that are like minor improvements but may have a great impact, like adding the troubleshooting section to the settings so you don't have to search for it across the UI, or adding a confirmation dialog for sensitive things like deletion for the connection that simply didn't ask you before. Now it will. I will share my screen. I think that we may do it a little differently than we used to do before because we have really great release notes. So let me share this one, and hopefully you can see this. What I'm looking at, and hopefully you are looking at it too, is our blog post regarding the 126 release. And I've dived in here because we have a great demo for the first feature that I mentioned, which is host certificate sync to Podman VMs. So there's a new command that you can trigger from the command palette by F1 or from the top search bar that will transfer all your local certificates to the Podman virtual machines. There's a great demo here. So if you look at the recording, it will tell you what to do. You will find it in the command palette. Just hit the synchronize certificate, and here you can see the progress. So it will trigger a new task in the task manager, and you will see the progress. And after a few seconds, you will be able to verify that your certificates were transferred to the virtual machine. The main purpose of this is if you are behind a proxy or you're in some enterprise environment or something like that, and you're using a ton of certificates, this feature will be handy for you to make sure your certificates are up to date on the Podman machine. So as you can see on the pre-recorded video, it did exactly what I described. So this first big thing that is worth mentioning, looking at few others, I think I will stay here in this view. Extension authentication access control. Before it was possible for extensions to use your authenticated session without letting you know. The change right now is that you will be explicitly asked to allow access to authenticated sessions. So for example, if you are using Red Hat SSO and you install the developer sandbox, it will ask you explicitly if you want to allow the access to that authenticated session, which didn't happen before. So that's another new thing here. Next up is improvements to the pull image workflows. So it may have happened to you that you were pulling a large image. It was taking too much time. You decided that maybe that's not the right one that you wanted to download or anything. You basically decide you want to cancel that. It is now possible. So there are new buttons in this view. One is during the download process. So you will see the cancel button. So if you click it, it will stop downloading the image. And if you decide to let it finish, once it's finished, you have additional actions here right from this screen. So you don't have to navigate to other screens to either run it or view more details about that. So it's now possible to do that from this screen once the image pulling is finished. Moving on, right now, in 1.26, it is possible to filter your environments uh, based on the provider that you're using. So you may be using Docker, Podman, or Apple containers. Everything was displayed in one screen. Now in 1.26, you can filter those environments. So if you look at screens like containers, images, I think it applies also for networks and other screens. You will be able to see this drop down if you are using it. If you are using multiple environments, if you are only in a single one, this field won't be visible. So if you want to test it out, you need to have multiple environments, and then you will be able to select only the environment that you are interested in. So this way, it allows you to make it more visible, more clear on what environment you're looking at. I also mentioned we did some improvements to the managed configuration. So this is especially for extensions. You can now disable custom extensions. So if you're managing a large IT environment, you can disable the installation of custom extensions using this flag. And similarly, it applies also to hiding the extension catalog completely. So there's another flag that you can use right now. And last thing that I mentioned was a few minor improvements that may have a great impact, which is a trouble section is now added to the settings menu. So you will find it under the settings. It should be very easily accessible now. And yeah, the last thing is the confirmation dialog for connection deletion. Basically, before it just deleted the connection, now it will ask you if you really want to do that. So it's a little safer for you to not delete something you don't want to. As I mentioned before, there were a lot of changes, a lot of commits that went into this release. So feel free to go to our blog, explore what all new things are here. You will find a detailed changelog and more information here. There is one more thing that is definitely worth mentioning, but that will be covered by Philippe, I guess. So that's it for me for now, and thank you.
Thank you, Yuri. Also, in the blog, we do have a section for shout outs for our external contributors. So, take a look on to see your name there. And again, appreciate all the contributions that have been gone in. Philippe, would you like to share the screen?
Yes, hello. So yes, I will share my screen. So just a moment. So yes, I wanted to talk about the new Kubernetes extensions. So a few months ago, the Podman desktop team decided to extract the Kubernetes tools from the core Podman desktop to extensions. So if I remember correctly, for two main reasons. One is that users don't want to use the Kubernetes tools because either they don't use Kubernetes at all or they have other tools they are using. And another reason is more technical for the team, that we want to have a different cycle of development for the Kubernetes tools compared to the core Podman desktop. So we have worked on extracting these Kubernetes tools to extensions. And so they were now the most important tools, which are the dashboard and the context manager. So I will make a short demo to explain. So you can see my screen, I suppose. I have the latest release installed, 1.26.1. I don't have any extension installed. You cannot see any icon here. And so it is, so for the moment, it is exactly like before. You still have access to your internal Kubernetes dashboard. And in the settings, you still have access to the Kubernetes context management. So now you can decide to test the Kubernetes extension. And so for this, in the catalog, there is a pack, a Kubernetes extension pack. And so if you install it, it will install 3 extensions for you: the dashboard, the context manager, and the create extensions. It will happen in a few seconds. So it is installing all the extensions. And you can see the 3 icons appearing, so meaning that the 3 extensions are installed. And here you add, before the Kubernetes icon, the gray one, which has been removed, and all the logic internal related to this icon has also been stopped when I installed the extension. And the same for the Kubernetes context. There is no more Kubernetes entry here. And so you get with the extension the equivalent things. So you can see the extension, you are still able to access to your cluster. And from your context, you can continue to edit your context and to see the connectivity of your context to the clusters. And the create one, this one was already existing, and so it is installed by default with the pack. So one thing important to say is that the 3 extensions, you can install the pack to simplify, but you can also remove one or any extension you want from the 3 of them, because they are not completely required. So for example, if you want to have only the dashboard and not the context manager, you can disinstall the other ones. So the dashboard will work correctly. And in the other way, if you have the context, so for this one, a demo will be interesting. If you disable the dashboard here, you still have the context. I prefer to yeah, it's better to restart to be sure it is. So if you restart, you can see that all the connectivity are not available anymore because this data is provided by the dashboard. And now the dashboard is not running, but you still can edit or change your current context without the need of having the dashboard. So depending on what people want, if they just want to have an editor, a graphical editor for the Kubernetes context, they can install the context extension only. If they want to manage the clusters and the resources into the clusters, they can install the dashboard, or they can install the two of them. So yes, I think that's it. I covered everything. So if there were any questions, you're welcome.
So I don't have a question. I just wanted to ask you if you could tell us a few things about what are the next steps, because right now we have the extension and also the original implementation. So how are we going to do that for the upcoming releases?
Yes, so effectively, our goal is to remove the internal code from the core. It is not clear yet when we will remove them. It depends on the adoption of the users of the extension. And yes, because one thing for the people not wanting to have Kubernetes inside, for the moment, if you don't install the extension, it is still active into the core, so it won't help for these users. So I suppose we will want to remove them as soon as possible for them. So yes, we will wait to see the adoption of the extensions. We will try to push the adoption. And once we suppose it is not required, we will remove it from the core Podman desktop.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Philippe or Yuri?
Is there any documentation on the need for this Kubernetes extension?
Sorry, I didn't get exactly the question.
Oh, any documentation on why Podman is developing the Kubernetes extension?
Yeah, I don't know if someone in the team has a response on this. It's an historical decision. It has been integrated from the beginning of Podman desktop. I think the first reason was because we want to help the user to start from containers with Podman or Docker only, without orchestration, and moving to Compose or to a Kubernetes cluster. And so we wanted to have the Kubernetes tools integrated into Podman desktop. So does it reply to your question?
Yeah, is that documented anywhere about the reason why it's developed, what's the benefit, etc.?
I'm not sure. In the website, there is a Kubernetes section. I don't know if it is documented on this one. Let me check.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure as well, but I believe that you will be able to dig through the blog, which might be the best place to go to for the answer. But scroll really heavily to the history.
I can take a look at this and provide the information, Victor, on the community, the issue that we have, and have the answer there, if that helps.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I think it might have been related to a feature parity with Docker Desktop at the time as well.
Thanks, Anders. So yeah, let me dig this up and provide some information, some context for this. Okay. Before we move on, any more questions related to this? Okay. Let me share my screen back again. So a couple of general updates. Slideshow. So we did have KubeCon EU is still going on. So we did have our kiosk there. We had off on 2 days, 24th and 26th. So just before the meeting, we kind of wound up over there. Axel and Stefan from our team were present there, and they did get overwhelming response. So it seemed it was a good success. The one thing that we found out that Podman Desktop is being used by a lot of people. Some of them are companies as well, and we have encouraged people to go and look into our adopters.md file and make sure they enter their information in there. That was one of the feedback that we provided, and we also are looking for demos that how people are using Podman Desktop to be demoed during our community meetings. If you want to do that, please mention it in the issue, community issue, and it should be we can accommodate that. As usual, the next meeting would be we have meetings every fourth Thursday of the month, and the next meeting coming up is April 23rd. If you have questions, topics that you would like to bring up, please mention it in the issue. I see, Anders, you are here. I know you had a question about the Lima provider to be included. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think it answered my question. It's in PR review now. So.
Okay. Again, thank you for the contribution, Anders. I appreciate it.
No worries. Lima was also on the KubeCon, so hopefully there were some meetings there. I was not there myself.
Any other comments, questions before we wind up the meeting? Okay. Thank you, everybody, for the time. Thanks, Anders. Thanks, Victor, for joining our meeting. And Victor, I'll get back to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.